and welcome to Mondays with Maria Gould. Today is Monday, January the 19th, 1926. Today's episode 45 is a question. Can parallel lives be affecting our health? So I'm going to share an interesting story with you. And if you are a theta healer, this will give you some more clues on things to be aware of. If you are interested in theta healing, definitely check it out. You can go to the thetahealing.com website or on my website, mariagould.com, to learn more about theta healing classes. Amazing modality. So I had a client that came in and she was having severe exhaustion and severe feeling drained and lethargic and just, now the doctors had told her she was very, very anemic. And they were quite concerned because her iron levels were so low, meaning that her body was not producing enough of the hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is what our cells produce that have an iron molecule in it. And this hemoglobin is in our red blood cells, which carry the oxygen in our blood and delivers oxygen to every cell in our body. So without this iron level, her body couldn't produce enough hemoglobin to carry the oxygen. So her oxygen levels were getting low. She was very, very sick. And even though she had gone to doctors, they had her on a special diet and supplements. They were regularly testing her iron levels. And still, even though she was doing all of these good things, trying to put more iron into her body, the levels of the iron were not changing. They were actually going down. So they did further testing, making sure she wasn't internally bleeding. There was a lot of things that they had to check to make sure there wasn't bigger issues going on. But after 6 months of just, and actually longer than that, she said, she was feeling so horrible that she booked with me and we did a theta healing session together. So when I asked her permission, after understanding what she was struggling with, I asked her permission to go up to the creator of all that is and do a reading of her body. And I was just going through with a lot of physical things. You want to look and just make sure the body is actually taking in what you're trying to build. So if you're trying to get your iron levels up, can your body absorb the iron in the digestive tract? So hers was really good. Her body was breaking it down and getting it into the bloodstream. But the body would not, it would go into the cells, the iron would go into the cells, but then Creator showed me that it's almost like the iron shot off through these tiny portals in the cells. And I was very curious, and I had to go up and I asked Creator, what's happening? And Creator says, follow the portal. So I followed one of the portals, and it led to another dimension, another her that was living a parallel life. And she was a little girl that was very, very sick, had severe anemia, very malnourished. The energy of the time. Now, this was literally a parallel universe because I could not get a sense of it being anywhere in our timeline or anywhere on our earth. So it was her. She was human in form, but just super malnourished. It was sort of like a dystopian future, but not a future life that we are heading to. And this little girl that she was in a parallel life was so anemic, and so depleted that it literally, my friend was sending her energy, her iron from this life without conscious awareness to this other part of her in a parallel life to help her, because the little girl that she was in this parallel life would have died without this iron being coming from my friend through that parallel connection. We are connected all of the time multidimensionally. And if I can spread your mind and actually help you shift into a broader perspective, if you believe in past lives, future lives, that's really cool. But in the reality of who we are as souls, it's actually more like we are living all of these lives all at the same time. And every choice that you make helps all parts of you in other times and places, other parallel dimensions, right? You're actually helping each other learn and grow and go through your lessons. Okay, so when I saw this and I explained this to her, and for anyone that has experienced theta healings, we have what our founder of theta healing calls an unexplainable shelf. You know, you might not understand what you're being taught or shown by the Creator fully. So it's sort of like this little shelf. You have to suspend what we know as reality to learn new information that maybe scientists haven't even discovered yet, okay? So our founder, Vienna Steibel, would always call that the unexplainable shelf, right? You just put that up there, and pretty soon in the future, you'll figure that out more. And I've learned a lot more about parallel lives, how they were affecting me and my health, and how to actually shift that energy so that we don't have to give our energy or anything physical, that we can actually just be connected through our consciousness, which doesn't drain us. Okay, so there's a big shift there. So as I was working on my client and telling her about this on the, and she understood, she resonated with it. She says, yeah, I do sense that. I do feel that. I've been having dreams of this little girl and trying to help her, and I didn't know how to help her, and I just kept wanting to help her. And her dreams were literally showing her that she had that psychic connection with another aspect of herself. Now, when we started to do the belief work and shift things, I would watch healings on my friend, but also her in that parallel life, right? This is the cool stuff we can do with theta healing. So I would watch the healing on her as that little girl, and watch the healing and watch Creator shift things for her. Now, sometimes souls choose different experiences, even with their physical health, for certain lessons. And for example, with this little girl was choosing, she never ever felt strong inside on any level, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and this anemia that she had was making her learn to stand up for herself, to advocate for herself, learning to speak up for herself, and have that strong will to live. In that parallel life, she would have died a lot sooner if she hadn't done that. So when I asked Creator if she was complete with what her soul wanted to learn from that experience, I got a yes. So we released her from that needing to learn those lessons. They're complete, they're finished. And then all of a sudden, her body started to shift and heal. And then I could see that my friend needed to shift, sitting in front of me, she needed to shift some beliefs on, she was a healer as well, and not giving our energy away as healers. Sometimes healers have a lot of programs and beliefs within their subconscious that make them believe they have to give their energy in order to help others heal, or they can have kind of shamanistic beliefs that they need to kind of take the disease on for somebody in order to heal it. Well, my friend had these beliefs, and so she was taking on a little bit of this disease for herself in a parallel life to try and help work it out, to understand it, to help herself in another time. In the bigger picture, if we understand that we are actually all, no matter what life we have lived, past, future, present, it all is part of you. And every experience is so important for our evolution and moving us up in consciousness, awareness, and back to the oneness of Creator. So by shifting the friend in front of me, her beliefs around needing to heal others in that way, and calling back her energy and showing the parallel her that she could actually tap into Creator, tap into Source, and have those portals of energy coming directly into her own body, and that her body could assimilate the iron in her environment and teach her body to do that, because her body actually didn't, it was like a genetic thing for her. It didn't have the genetic know-how to do that. So we kind of downloaded that from Creator, did a bit of healing around that. And now she would have died in that parallel life, and I did see an aspect of her pass away. But again, all is possible with Creator. So by doing this healing, there was an aspect of her almost creating another parallel life for that little girl where she did live, where she learned her lessons, and she didn't have to die to learn those lessons. And she actually became healthy and strong and an amazing, amazing kind of leader in her culture. So coming back to my friend that was sitting in front of me, as we shifted her beliefs on not draining her energy and not, basically taking on the disease for this aspect of herself, then I could actually see that each of them was connected directly to Source, directly to the Creator, without needing to steal energy from each other. Okay, really important. So they were connected with consciousness. Each could help each other grow and learn, but without needing any physical draining, right? Really important. So amazing turnaround in my friend's health. It was very shortly after that, less than 6 weeks later, where her anemia levels, her iron levels, were all of a sudden amazingly better. And she came back for a healing, and I could see how much her stores of liver, our liver actually stores iron, and her liver stores were up, and her body wasn't draining that iron to herself in another parallel life. She was able to keep it for herself, build her own strength up, build her own power up again. So in less than 6 weeks, all of her symptoms went away, and she got her health and vitality back. The doctors were saying that her iron levels are testing much, much better, like higher than average, but healthy, higher than average. And they said she could back down on all of the supplementation because, again, if you don't need it, that could become toxic for you. So she backed off that and her iron levels stayed great. Her energy came back. She had a much better blood oxygen level because her body actually could create, with that iron, the hemoglobin that carries the oxygen. So very powerful healing for my friend on how parallel lives can really affect our health, right? And sometimes those unexplainable things can be explained a lot more with an intuitive, a theta healer, and it helps put some understanding in what is going on for our bodies. So if this story intrigued you, made you curious about your own body, if you've done a lot of things to try and improve your health, even going to doctors and specialists, and nothing has really shifted or changed your illness, then you might want to do a bit of research. Take a look at the thetahealing.com website. That's our founder's website. There's a lot of theta healers from around the world on there. You can check out that website and see if you resonate with a practitioner, or if you would be interested in working with me with any issues. You can find me at mariagould.com. So thank you for your time and your attention today. And if you haven't signed up for my newsletter, I do a lot of different articles on spirituality, health, manifesting, theta healing classes, different healing classes, things to help you move forward in a positive way, empowering you. So if you're intrigued, you can sign up for my newsletters through my website at mariagould.com. And in that weekly newsletter that comes out on Monday, you get the Mondays with Maria Gould podcast included in that. So thank you again for joining me, and I hope your Monday is beautiful and blessed. Have a wonderful day.